Howdy, 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 everybody. Welcome back to Saturday Night Forums with Dangerous Freedom and my brother Patriot 3%er. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, he's putting out content pretty much every day. So,
Trying to.
nah, it wasn't tech problems this time, Margo.
It was PP problems. Don't lie.
Yeah,
He had to go.
problem, right?
He had to go. He was like, "Oh, we're fixing to go live. I got to go PP." But it's part of human life. We all have to.
Yeah, everybody gets it. Good to see you, Dusty, Chaz, Joe. Good to see you all, Vanessa, Kitty, C. Hi, C. Josh.
I see.
Well, dude. I'm glad that your wife's getting out soon, man. I hope everything goes smoothly. Hey, you, everybody in chat. I guess I'll go ahead and start off. While we're waiting for our guests to get here.
Real quick, let me just say hello, everybody in the chat. Margo, Joe, Dusty, Dave, Chaz, Faithful Prepper. Looky there. Wait a minute, Faithful. What do you mean you thought you were going to have some pretty faces on here? Is this? I mean, what?
Faithful Prepper. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to give them about 10, 15 minutes and see if they show up. If not, I'm probably just going to bring people in from the chat.
And for all of y'all that time changes tonight, for all of y'all that are in time change zones, it's time change for us in Arkansas. So it spring forward and fall backwards. Just always remember that. So,
and anyway, that starts this morning, right?
Starts at midnight. Yeah.
What's up, Tech Mayhem? I see you out there, brother.
Tactical technician.
He is pretty tactical.
He is.
Hey, Sassy, good to see you. Brastard, what's up? Lisa. So, anyways, I'm able to be monetized now. So after a little bit of discussion, if you were watching the After Dark, we had a little discussion on that. We had a discussion about this. So, anyways, I've gone through the first two steps, and I'm just waiting for them to review my channel, which is just kind of scary, to say the least. They're gonna be like, they're probably gonna remove some videos, or say you got to remove these videos, or something like that. Thank you, Faithful. Actually, I could have monetized probably about, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I've had more than the subs and more than the watch hours. So now I'm gonna have to up my game. But I mean, I don't know how much this thing pays. I mean, I've heard people say, dude, it's like you get like $12 a month. But hey, man, what's up, Sparky?
Hey, Sparky.
Sparky, you want to come on up here? I'll bring you up.
Tactical, Margo, Ark Wildman Survival. Hey, you.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, you.
Ark Wild, dude. I'm sorry about your cousin, bro. Dude, that.
Man, I hadn't been up on the last 2 days. I hadn't watched any videos, man. I ain't had time, honestly.
Damn, maybe not, bro, but it's all good.
They said send him the link. He's gonna come up on here and stir some stuff up.
Who's that? Aircraft?
Sparky. He don't know about stirring stuff up.
Okay, I'll shoot him an email really quick here.
Tactical technician says you're still not as tactical as me.
I saw that. Yeah, smart ass.
Yeah, here in Arkansas, they introduced a bill to get rid of the payroll tax.
Nice.
all payroll taxes, man. That would be a great boost to the economy.
Mm-hmm. I tend to agree.
You know that I mean they tax the hell out of us enough. You know, if you think about it, they tax your paycheck, and then you go to the store and buy something, they tax that. You know, you buy a vehicle, they tax that. Yeah, Joe Morgan, you can stir some stuff up too. I know he's pretty good at it.
Hey, Mike.
And Joe's cool though, man. Let me tell you, Joe that he should change it from Joe Morgan to Joe Cool because he is cool. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, they tax
They
everything,
tax
man.
you. They tax you for freaking everything. They tax your paycheck. Then when you buy something, they tax you. Then when you sell it, they charge you tax. God, that's shit.
I know, and
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
anarchy. Are you talking about that key card thing or the what they call that? That auto card thing? Yeah,
oh,
dude. You did you hear about that?
well, I see. I did not hear about the raid, but I seen something, a video, or I seen something about some auto card thing, and I was like,
Yeah,
I don't buy into all that
I
crap,
mean,
you know.
honestly, it was just a card with an imprint of a piece that apparently you can cut out if you have the right tools and fit it into your firearm. And suppose instead of having a one shot trigger pull, you
Oh,
yeah. So basically, it turns
see,
it into an auto. But that's why they call it the auto key card. But anyways,
what's
the ATF classified it as a damn machine gun. And well, I'm going off of what Jared over at Guns and Gadgets said. And I mean, he usually gets the lowdown on this kind of stuff. So, like, if you had one of these or bought one of these from that company, he suggests calling your attorney first, and then because the ATF's like call us, and it's like don't call them, call your attorney. You know what I mean? So like I've got USCCA, I'd call USCCA first,
well,
be like, holy crap, I bought one of these things. What do I do? Me
well, I
personally,
don't.
I never got one, but
I don't think USCCA would have anything to do with that probably because the USCCA is for if you have to use your weapon against someone. You know, I have it
no,
as well.
they the USCCA, if you well, I don't. It might fall under their parameters.
Well,
Actually, I mean they're a
here's
pretty good company. I mean I've
right, but
never had an issue with them. So what's up, Fuzz
Buzz,
T?
yes. Um, yeah. See, the thing about it is man, I went
KP.
a guy that I know, you know, has a full auto. He's got the license for it and everything, and it's fun, you know, but it's a big waste of money and hell, I mean, it's just
Can't do that.
it's just dumping. It's not accurate enough to be worth the
Mm.
money that it would cost to have a full auto. I mean, there's no purpose in it. I'm one of the kind of guys that I like, you know, I like to one shot at a time. I like control of my rifle. You
Yeah,
know, it's not
exactly.
it just I don't know. It just I'm not I'm just you know, I hear a lot of people, man, I'd love to have a full auto, and I'm just like, why? You know, I mean, it's you know, even the military went to a 3 round burst,
That
you know, because
I was going to say that. Yeah, even the military, they switched from full auto to the 3 round burst. Yeah,
yeah, because
because
after about
more
three
accurate.
rounds, yeah, after about 3 rounds, man, you got to regain target anyway, and I mean, you're just spraying lead everywhere, you know. That's that. I mean, you know, that's my opinion. You know, I'm not a super gunsmith or super big, you know. Yeah, tactical, exactly. I
And
do the marksman thing. I don't. Thank you, tactical. Yeah, and tactical's a good marksman as well. And
don't get
but
me
yeah, the full
started.
auto, Dusty. Yeah, it's just a waste, man.
Miss Mary, don't get me started on Ruby Ridge, dude. Yeah, if you want to see me mute my camera and mic and go off and yell and dude, it's funny. Sometimes I get so pissed off. I'll just go and yell in a corner, and my cats and dogs are staring at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with him? He's
Now,
pissed."
see, anarchy has another good point. You start heating up your barrels if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
that key card thing that they're talking about it. If you ain't got the proper parts in your weapon, because the the ones you buy right now are not set up for full auto. They're not designed for it. They won't hold up. What's up, Sparky?
Hey, Sparky, good to see you, brother.
Can't hear you, bro.
I, oh,
Spark, y'all, everybody, Sparky's new at coming live. He's never been live before. So
I had a
there it is.
I had a different mic selected.
Oh,
Oh
how are you, Sparky?
man, it has been a week. It has been a month. It has been a oof. So yeah, I've just graduated from a school this past week.
Uh-oh.
It's official. I can train people. I can train people for the Air Force now. So
oh, right on, dude. That's good. That is good. Good. That sounds like good money too. That's a pretty steady job.
well, I mean, it's a job, man. I'm not going to get rich at it, but it's something that it's something in line with what I enjoy doing.
There you go.
Mark,
Yeah, that's the most important part, man. If you don't love your job, then it's no point in doing it.
Margot said, "Does that mean you're a virgin?" Margot's hilarious.
Always and forever.
Yeah, Joe Morgan. Yeah, my boat carrier is was actually, some of my boat carriers are actually the full auto versions, and the only reason why I bought them was just for the lasting, the durability of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I built my rifles, I checked into it and stuff, and they were saying, if you've got the money to go ahead and get these, even on a semi-auto, because they just last longer, they just hold up better, and they're usually smoother too.
Well, look, the whole idea of an automatic weapon, it's not for accuracy.
No,
It's
No.
for suppression.
Suppression. Yep.
So when you say, "Oh well," after 3 rounds you got to reacquire target, well, you're right. The reason why the military switched over to 3-round burst on their traditional assault rifle, which would be the M4, the M16, was because soldiers would run through a magazine in less than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And have to reload. Standard.
And that's when they had the smaller mags too, not 30 round.
Yeah, standard carrying.
20,
it's
20 round.
It's like 280 rounds is what they normally carry.
Well, that's what the magazines. But I mean, did they carry 30-round magazines, or did they carry 20s or 10s?
Well, they had 20s back in the Vietnam era when they actually made that decision to switch over to 3-round bursts. Now they run 30. 30 is your standard.
Okay.
well,
So, I like the idea. I believe that people should have the right to own whatever gun they want, up to and including McNukes.
exactly.
If you can afford it, you should be able to own it.
Yeah.
Shall not be infringed. It's not a suggestion.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
I mean, I would love nothing more than to have a good old RPG-7.
I would still like to have one of the Tommy guns. I seen somebody mention it earlier, and I'd love to have a.
An old Thompson. I mean, if you can find them, you're going to pay about $12,000 to $15,000 for them right now. But yeah, if you could find like a 30s era Thompson, yeah, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I mean, if you don't mind shooting that much 45,
right? You're
Well-
you're shooting some horsepower for close distance, you know.
Mm.
But
yeah,
you're talking about expensive, boy. I mean, just you know, going past, you know, how much the weapon would cost you now, but just shooting the 45 rounds, man. Jeez.
yeah.
And so you didn't get to go home, tactical?
No, I'm on my way home now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had a load for me that was supposed to be done at midnight. And I got there. They said, nope, it's not ready. Come back. So I came back 6 hours later. Nope, not ready. What the hell? I was like, okay,
Story of
how
your
long
life.
is it going to take? They said, oh, it's just going to take a couple hours. Okay, come back in a couple hours. Is it done? No, it's going to be a couple hours. You said a couple hours ago. They're like, it should be done by noon. Okay, so I went back at 12:30. It still wasn't done. It was finally done at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Wow.
What were you getting fixed?
Yeah, it got fixed. It was just that they didn't have the product ready. It was
No.
supposed to be.
What were you getting done?
Oh, what was I getting done? Just a trailer load of chicken from Tyson.
Oh, okay.
He delivers. He's one of our food delivery guys.
Oh, your chicken
Yeah.
hauler.
Dusty
Not a
is too.
chicken hauler. I do the uncooked butchered meat is what I do.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
You run a refrigerated trailer. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Same as Dusty, yeah.
Well, I mean, and Tactical knows what I'm talking about when I talk about a chicken hauler. If you ever see a semi covered in lights hauling ass, it's traditionally a chicken hauler. They take the governors out of their car, out of their truck, and what they're doing is they're hauling the live chickens to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And the less amount of time that they are in that trailer, the more that will be alive. Because you want the chickens alive when you kill them.
Yeah.
The way the meat's not tainted in any way.
Yep.
Good to see you, Homestead Us, M9.
So, I just looked at your sub count. My goodness, you have grown exponentially there, Freedom. I'm happy for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I am working on the monetization part. There's a big debate going on in my head, and I was like, well, instead of having it in my head, why don't I have it with my friends? And the majority, I mean, I know that, you know, YouTube's gonna be having the spotlight on me once I do this, but
monetization. Okay, here's the good and the bad. From someone with monetization, the good, your hobby is paying off. The bad, you now have to self-censor a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get over $100 worth of viewing, you will not get paid. It'll carry over until you do reach over $100 of view time and super chats and whatnot. But so the people that tell you, oh, I only get like $12 a month, they're lying. That's probably their average.
Okay, I'll get what you're saying.
But
okay.
AdSense will not pay out if you do not reach at least $100.
Right.
And then do views count into that?
Yes, view time. When you're doing live like this, you if you're monetized, you can add commercials to the beginning of your show. But however long someone watches after that doesn't really count unless they click off, click back on, things like that, and they see another ad. But your super chats, your super stickers, man, they can add up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If your audience is willing to donate to you, which I will tell everyone, look, the majority of us here on YouTube, we do this as a hobby. If you enjoy the content, just remember this. The message is free, delivering it is not. And if there's any way that you can help curtail the cost, because it does cost us as YouTubers to deliver the message. Internet is not free. Our computers, our equipment is not free. I'm building a command center right now. I just dropped $3,500
Wow.
on a new computer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That way I can more easily edit video and hopefully deliver higher quality video at more reasonable and economical time. So this hobby isn't cheap. It's just like shooting guns. It's just like gardening isn't cheap. You know, the initial setup is always expensive.
Yeah.
And occasionally you got to reboot that setup.
Yeah. Hey, Brad. Dan S.
Well, let's
So,
give
So,
the viewers.
by the way, I did hear back from Catskills. She can't. I guess K Marie is working right now, but I told her just come on in. You know. So.
Well, and
hopefully we'll be seeing her.
M9, you're right. Time is money, but all at the same time, if there's no way that you can donate to the YouTuber, you know, you don't want to donate to them, hey, do them a favor and just hit that share button.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there helps more than anything if there's no way to help donate to your favorite YouTubers. You know,
Exactly.
a lot of us don't do this for the money. I'm not getting a paycheck this month from YouTube. Oh, poor me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I do this stuff because I enjoy doing it. Exactly. This is my hobby. I love talking with my friends, publicizing those conversations, and interacting with the audience, because especially in the COVID world, you know, this is a great way to socialize while keeping socially distanced. Who cares? And yeah.
But Patriot ain't far enough away from me though. That's the problem. No,
I'm gonna be right on top of your ass with you on your back when we get to this training.
Bug out.
Oh man, wishful
Just
thinking,
saying.
Patriot. Wishful thinking.
My hobby is putting clothing on squirrels. Oh yeah, is that before or after you eat people? Yes. All right. True Grave. Yes, I'm about to get to that. I wanted to get a few people in here. So if you live in Arizona, and I know there are similar bills coming up all over the place, but here, let me pull this up here. There is a new bill introduced in our Senate, or in our House. It is called House Bill 2111, the Second Amendment, unenforceable federal laws. Now, they don't have a whole lot of text here, but what they do have is, pursuant to the sovereignty or to the sovereign authority of this state, and Article 2, Section 3, Constitution of Arizona, this state and all political subdivisions of this state are prohibited from using any personnel or financial resources to enforce, administer, or cooperate with any act, law, treaty, order, rule, or regulation of the United States government that is inconsistent with any laws of this state regarding the regulations of firearms, which basically means we're basically telling the government to fuck off.
Well, you're seeing that like here in Oklahoma, they are actually doing the same thing. But Senator Feinstein has proposed a new gun control law.
Of course, she does every year.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Emily, what's up? Pepper 007.
let's
I think
see.
most states are
This
doing them.
is the ban assault weapons with high capacity deal. I read through it. It's 125 pages. They go through and actually list by make and manufacturer the actual deals we're talking about. Any magazine over 10 rounds will be illegal. There is an opportunity to grandfather, but they don't really go into any detail of how that can happen. And it says within 90 days of passage of this law, the sale and ownership of AR-15, any AR style weapon, shotguns that accept magazines over 10 rounds, pistols that accept magazines over 10 rounds will all be illegal.
Well, see, I'm gonna tell you something. One of the things that really irks me a lot is when they say high capacity magazines. Because if you buy a weapon that has a 15 round standard magazine that comes, that's what that gun is. That is the standard magazine, and they're trying to do a play on words to make it where you're, they're trying to say, well, anything over 10 rounds is high capacity. Well, no, it's not. It's standard capacity on a 15 round. If you've got something, the AR-15 forever has been coming with a 30 round mags. A standard capacity magazine for it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, in the lame state of California, it is illegal for any magazine to have over 10 rounds.
Yep. And they put
Yeah.
like a pin, they put a pin in the magazine, so you can't load it over 10 rounds. Yeah. But you can also remove the pin, make yourself,
Well, then you are illegally modifying, and that's a felony.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Deep.
So
Yeah,
it's interesting.
yeah.
They call it the ban assault rifles, assault weapons ban bill, but they include handguns, shotguns. You'll like this: bolt action rifles that have magazine attachments to it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Well, good example, my KS7 shotgun. It's got, if you got the regular 2 3/4 or 3-inch shells, you can fit like 7 in there. But if you get those mini shells, which are like 1 3/4 inches, I can fit 11 in there. So that technically, that would make it, an illegal thing, right? I mean, it is. I mean, like, seriously, these laws are passed. First of all, they're unconstitutional, 100%. It's just bull. I mean, any law they make for gun control it's unconstitutional and needs to be null and void. However, people have been dumbed down, just like in taxes. With our taxes, people have been so indoctrinated into paying them. It's like, oh yeah, it's our duty to pay these taxes. No, it really is not, folks.
No, we fought taxation without representation to get taxation with representation. Doesn't make any sense.
And now we're back. And now we're back to the before mentioned, without representation, because now they're spending money that our great grandkids don't even have. So,
I was watching a video about 20 minutes ago about the American Reserve Munitions gatekeeper round for a shotgun. Now, this is a shotgun round made completely out of copper, because in some states they want to ban the use of lead in ammunition. This has the most beautiful opening pattern. The petals open and do not break off. They shot it in ballistic gel into a pork shoulder. It stays whole and opens from a 12 gauge round to a 40 millimeter diameter.
Wow.
Wow.
I have to look at that, man.
Man, it is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
DEUT.
I bet they are. I bet they are expensive.
Can't find them right now.
Yeah.
They're sold out.
Well, oh, I'm sure. I bet when you can, they're expensive though.
All right.
I would have spelled some of expensive, but I can't spell, so I just say expensive.
I just say expensive.
It's easier for me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, they I used to have some of them black talons. You remember them back in the day?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I had a bunch of them, and I had some in my gun when I got pulled over, and they took them from me, and it didn't go over well, and I ended up going to jail.
Oh.
What? Really?
Oh yeah. I'm telling you, man. And that was when I was younger and before I, knew more, than what I know now or knew then. But the thing about it is I'm telling you, dude, I was hot, boy. I got me and that cop went round and round, arguing, and he got mad and took me to jail. So.
Man,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. I mean, it's basically just a hollow point with. I mean, it's basically just a hollow point.
Now,
No, they weren't either. No,
like
they
right
they,
now, going to the website, and that'd be armunitions.com.
Mm.
A box of their 12 gauge gatekeeper rounds are $25.75. Of course, they're out of stock. But they also have they have a whole gatekeeper line ranging from 5.56 and 2.23.
Oh wow.
They have 40 S&W, 9 millimeter, and 45 ACP.
Oh wow.
With the same type of composition of bullet and the same type of opening patterns.
Good to see you, Harvey. Gee,
I bet they're out of all of them, ain't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I'm just looking at the patterns. Man, it is a beautiful. And what caught my eyes is the fact that they don't break apart.
yeah.
Most of your munitions, when they open up like that, normally the petals will break off. No, these stay solid in. So the permanent cavity wound cavity is just that much more nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Tears and shreds as it goes through. Yep.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, what's y'all's opinion on that? I mean, my opinion, most of the time I know they did get the weapons ban or whatever, the assault weapons ban back when Clinton was in there, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do y'all really think it's got a chance of passing the Senate?
No, and the reason
Yeah.
why is because they have to get at least 60 votes.
Unless they do away with the filibuster.
No, they can't. They can't. This cannot be changed. The filibuster keeps them from voting. They can get rid of the filibuster, and that still wouldn't affect it. The only time that they can pass something on a simple majority is if it is a budgetary item. But a law has to be passed with 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's
Disavowed.
they can't skirt around that unless they attach it to something budgetary. So reconciliation is not an issue.
Mhm.
Yeah, dusty data, but what if they do? I mean, I was going to say 50-50, man, on that one. I mean, I hope you're right, Sparky, I do, but man, with the current administration that we have, then they're like everything's off the table in this one, man.
I wouldn't go that far.
They are they're throwing every and anything at us, because
Well,
I think the ultimate goal, and I think we all know this, the ultimate goal is to have an unarmed populace. They want us to be like Britain or something, and
Mhm.
once we're unarmed, it's like, oh crap, But you notice that in most of these bills that they're passing, there's always that exception for law enforcement and military and government agencies, so and like the trust level. I mean, I've looked at the statistics lately, dude. Like news media, mainstream news media is like hovering around 22% trust level. And then you look at government and they're like 18 to 16. I mean, dude, like, so, I mean, but people are, I don't know how they're getting these laws passed, to be honest. I don't know how they're getting these Democrats, want to call them demon rats, but I don't know how they're getting these people elected. I mean, I know they use their,
well, we,
yeah, I know,
yeah,
right?
just
Thank you.
yeah,
You caught me on that
yeah,
one.
we know, yeah. Let's just
They've
let's
got their methods
yeah,
about that.
Let's just say we
Right.
can't discuss it
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
we-
of certain rules and regulations on this wonderfully open free speech platform.
I know,
Right.
right?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, freedom of speech. I mean, but just you can't speak. But
So no talking about the erection frog, right?
Yeah,
no,
right. No,
Okay.
or
no, actually,
nothing about the jab, anything like that. We're just going to stay off those topics because I know Prepper Nurse One was he got his channel taken down for like a week because of discussing that. So
yeah,
Oh, darn.
and yeah. But hey, if
K
there
Marie,
she is.
yeah, K Marie, I sent the link to Catskill, and I asked her to forward it to you. But and I know it's hard for me to watch my email while I'm doing the live stream. But yeah, get with Catskill. We're here. We're waiting on you, and don't worry about these guys. I'll boot them.
What?
So
Oh, you're both backstage. What?
dang dangerous. You're supposed to open the door for the ladies, man. What's up?
Oh man, unless maybe. Oh, they should have the right link. Let me hold on. Give me a second here, man.
Did you send him yesterday's link?
I don't think so. Let me see here.
Said yes, they're backstage.
What?
If they're backstage, they can see us and hear us talking. So
They're
Oh,
backstage.
Yep.
You should be able to see them there, Freedom.
right.
oh man.
Bug out.
Oh, no, that's after dark.
By the way, Margot,
All right, hold on. Let me do this. All right, Catskill, I am going to email you the new link, and then forward that to K Marie. Okay, so.
so this is dangerous. First time at this as well.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, yeah. No, I guess maybe I did put in the wrong link. I'm sorry, but yeah, the new link I just emailed it to Catskill. So yeah, just forward that over to K Marie, and then like I said, I'll just boot these guys because they're ugly anyways.
Hey, I'm freaking beautiful. I have to have my camera off because if I
Yeah.
didn't have it on, you guys will just die of awesomeness.
Well, somebody asked a while ago about having a pretty lady in the, where's the pretty lady that's supposed to pretty ladies that's supposed to be up in there, and then so tactical and about having
there we go. Hey,
Oh,
Catskill.
Patriot, I thought you were the pretty lady.
no, we just had a pretty lady show up.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, hey,
Good.
hello.
How are you guys doing?
Terrible.
good.
Thanks for asking.
We got K Marie. Hi.
There we go.
Hey, there you are.
Hey guys.
Sorry we're late.
No, it's
Well,
all right.
finally,
Dude,
somebody
that
as
might have been
beautiful
my
as
fault.
me.
I thought
Nice.
dude, I could have sworn I sent the right StreamYard link, but anyways, you're here. Welcome. So, ladies, I don't know how long you've been listening, but what's on your mind?
Hey, Dangerous, you're Arizona.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was trying to figure out because half of the year you're like an hour ahead,
Mhm.
and then the other half of the year we're the same time zone. We're like the same time. And so daylight savings is coming. So are we the same time right now? What time is it there?
Okay. Right now it's a quarter to 7.
Oh, okay. So then daylight savings, then we're gonna go back to the same time. So right now we're an hour.
Yeah,
apart.
which
All right.
is Patriot. Didn't you say it starts tomorrow morning, right? Sunday
Well,
morning.
tonight, midnight, whatever.
Tonight,
Yeah.
midnight.
Yeah. See, Arizona, we're that one state that we don't do the daylight savings and we don't tolerate federal gun laws. So
It's a good state.
But they vote for Biden, so
Yeah.
It is a blue state.
Well-
That is confirmed.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
yeah,
Exactly.
No, no. We're on YouTube. It definitely is a blue state.
yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely is not.
so
I don't know about that.
I did
You
have
know-
some questions for you ladies tonight on
Yeah.
prepping and stuff. But I mean, go ahead, Kay. Though, what you were gonna say something.
I was going to say, I suppose it depends on where you drop into Arizona, but for the most part, everywhere that I've been around there, I've got some friends who moved out there, people who have houses out there. And from my experience, it's been very much red. But then I guess if you get into maybe Phoenix and, I'm not sure in those more kind of city areas if it's a little bit different, but
Mhm.
that really surprised me.
There is no such thing as a blue state. There are only blue cities.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
that is
Pretty much.
So in Arizona, Tucson, and Phoenix are the big problems. In Nevada, Las Vegas, and Reno are the problems. In California, well,
There's a few.
San Diego, LA, Anaheim.
LA.
Yeah, there's a lot of
half the
cities.
state. Yeah.
Texas has
So-
a
All
lot
right,
of
shoot
cities
with the
like that too.
questions.
Yep. Austin.
So for you two ladies,
Yeah.
one of the questions I had, and they're simple questions, was where do you think you are the weakest in prepping, like
I would
skill or
for me,
anything?
firearms for sure.
Macking your firearms. Okay.
Proficiency in them.
I could kind of go with that too. We have plenty of firearms. I would say location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you're like in an urban environment.
Yeah, so it's countryside, but it's we're in the city, and we've got an alley going by the side of our house. So, people come by and have some interesting things to say and do, and so,
Right. Well,
Very
and
nice.
yeah, that's the thing, with I think that one of the biggest thing as preppers, because I never did title myself as prepper, or anything, because I'm a patriot. This is the kind of thing that I do. But you have to understand too that, being a patriot, you see the stuff going on, you should be prepped, so I do prep, and one of the things that I think is real important from in my opinion, is that we should see. I lost
no.
Kate.
Might be.
She was well. She was breaking up there for just a second. I
Dangerous.
noticed.
What did you do?
I didn't do it. Miguel.
Yeah,
Yes, I know we.
Sure.
I know that. Yeah, I know we feel a certain way about Biden supporters, but I think he just said it as a joke. So please don't abuse your wrench. I will remove it.
There we are.
You know what, Biden, dude. Even if you did vote for Biden, dude, the fact that you're here means that you realize you made a mistake, and dude, realizing that you made a mistake is the first part of fixing it. So.
Okay, so
now
I
you
think
just gotta
one.
learn from it.
Yep.
Right. I think one of the most important things too, with prepping is understanding where you do have weak points, because that, and then working on them weak points, and that's is going to make you obviously a better prepper, and that's why I had that question, and then one of the other questions I had is, where do y'all think y'all are the strongest at? And so real quick, I'm not going to ask y'all anything to reveal things that shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like where you got your preps and stuff, that I don't like to talk about stuff like that. So I'm just asking, your strong points and weak points, things like that.
Do you want to go first, Kate?
I think she's having
Crap.
some internet problem.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll answer. So I definitely think I'm the strongest when it has to do with location. I'm aside from being 2 hours north of New York City, I am in a state park with about 600,000 acres around me. I'm on a mountainside in the middle of nowhere, basically. And then as far as just food prepping is my thing. Cooking food, prepping food, long-term storage, growing food, gardening, canning,
Right.
hydrating. I love it all. I'm obsessed.
Cool.
That's
awesome.
good because because I'm planning when I get this stimulus thing, one of the first things I'm doing, I'm getting one of those all-American
same for me. I don't know
canners.
if I got cut off. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's all right. Oh, she's gone.
Oh, what do you? I'm sorry.
Don't I normally have this problem? I always have this problem. Now she has it. She took it away from me.
Dangerous. What were you getting? It cut off. I didn't get that last part. What are you getting with your stimulus?
The all-American pressure canner.
Okay. Yep.
And I've got the jars already. I've had them for about, let's see, I think I got them on my birthday, which would be okay. No, I got them at Christmas. So yeah.
Good.
So
well, that's good because there's always a shortage. Especially last year, there was a huge shortage, and people were totally price gouging the jars and the lids and everything else. So best to get it before the season gets going.
Mm-hmm.
I even heard that Ball had problems producing the glass. So that's another thing. Obviously you can use the glass over again, but the lids, good practice is to not use them twice. So best to get as many lids as you can.
Yeah. That's what I've been hearing too.
Yeah.
Now, when you can yours, do you when you store them, do you take the screw-on cap off, or do you just leave it on?
Yeah, so that's like kind of a debate. You would think to leave them on would be best because it would keep it on. But from what I hear is you take it off because you don't want to have like a sense of security on that lid if it fails, right? So I keep them off until I'm using it. Like, once I pop it, if I'm putting it back in the fridge or something like that. But yeah, I keep them off. And obviously, you can reuse the rings unless they're bent or damaged.
Yeah, see, that's something my mom and my grandma, and they always canned, and my mom has all the stuff, and she's passing it on to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're not canning anymore, and so she was, she told me I already got the book. I already got the book. That Ball
Fall, yeah.
canning book. Yeah,
Yep.
and there's another one too, and I can't remember what it's called. And but yeah, I'm gonna get all the stuff from her, and
Maybe
for
like
this
Good
summer.
Housekeeping has one as well. You know, that's
Good.
great. Someone passed along a book to me, and in it had like her great aunt's like apple pie filling recipe. And the woman had since passed, and the recipe was almost 100 years old. And I canned it this past fall, and it's kind of nice, right? You know, it's like bringing a little bit of history into today.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, and that's one of the things that you know that I'm gonna grow. I grew quite a few vegetables last year, and my garden's going to be much bigger this
Yeah.
year. So I want to be able to can a lot of this stuff, you know, and
Right.
I mean, I mean, like you was just saying, I mean, I think it's so cool, you know, the concept of growing your food and then being able to can it and preserve, you know, save it,
Yep.
and take it off the shelf, you know, 3 years down the road or whatever, and you know, bam, you know, you're making fresh salsa, you know. I mean, like,
exactly.
wow, you know, this is, you know, yeah, you know, like during the winter time, 'cause I love salsa, man. I just I can freaking eat salsa like every day, you know. And you know, when I grew some stuff last year and I made some salsa out of my own garden, it was just it was cool, you know. It was so fresh, and you know, it's just, yeah.
There's a level of satisfaction when you are able to grow and create your own meals with the food that you've actually you know, grew and preserved. It's kind of like a deeper level with, you know, with the things that you're eating. Another thing too, I mean, with gardening, unless you have like a small farm or homestead, I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of farmers markets by me. So I utilize those as well. Every weekend I would go and I would, you know, buy as much as I could of whatever that I use and can it, freeze it, process it. So, you know, I'm still making chilies and soups with carrots from last summer that I've either canned or froze. And it's nice. It's local, you know, so it may not be all mine, but it's local farmers.
Right. Well, and I was going to mention that too, the local farmers markets and stuff, you know, if you're having a problem with your yield, you know, I think that you can go to your local farmer market, you know, and a lot of them are going to have the more natural stuff, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and
they do. I mean, like for an example, like we've got one of the neighborhood Walmarts. You know, it's not the big super center thing, and they get local products in there too. Like we never run out of eggs, we never run out of meat, milk, any of that stuff. So that's a good thing. But we also have a farmers market right around the corner too. So I mean, either one are just as close. And
but you probably have a longer growing season as well. You know, here in New York, we've been frozen, you know, since October.
Yep. And I know Tactical or Mayhem popped out of here, but I mean, you know, when they had the ice apocalypse in Texas, there were a lot of truck drivers that couldn't get through. You know what I mean? So, you know, it just made the problems worse for Texas. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm wondering, you know, with this next storm coming, hopefully they don't have problems again out there. You know.
Well, I hope not either.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead.
So you do grow a garden then?
Oh yeah, no, I've been gardening. Yep.
Okay. What do you like to grow?
I really like, you know, basics. My squash and zucchini did excellent. My tomatoes, I added some more varieties, and I wasn't sure how that they were going to do, but they did excellent. Obviously cucumbers, because I do a canning of the pickles and all that. My peppers didn't do so well. I got to kind of work on that. All my beans did really well. I'm very fortunate. The land here in New York State, we didn't really do much with it, and it still just produced. You know, so
very good.
The
New York State has some great land to farm and stuff. I mean,
oh yeah,
the apple orchards, the
Yep.
cherries, and everything else that's grown in that state.
Yeah, we have apple trees as well and cherry.
It's
Yeah, no, those grow
now
natural,
one
don't
thing you may have not considered, but from what I understand, asparagus does pretty well up there.
Asparagus and actually I didn't grow a lot, but it did really well with the Brussels sprouts. And they're cold weather crops, so it's kind of great because there was frost on the ground and you could still go down and get your Brussels sprouts and that's fine.
So
You
the peppers, what kind of peppers was you having?
I had
problems with?
jalapeno and I had green peppers. To be honest, I think I just started them too late. Actually, we just started our tomato seedlings today, and we have shelves in our house with like grow lights on them because otherwise, you can't put them outside. We don't have a greenhouse. That is our plan to get a greenhouse and to be able to grow more during the colder months. But it's really tricky because it does get really cold where I am. I'm literally on a ski mountain. There's a ski resort, practically walking distance. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, one of the cheapest ways to build a greenhouse is to get the heavier thickness of drop cloth, of plastic drop cloth, and use that as your outer,
Right.
and that helps insulate from the cold weather. And since
sense.
it's translucent, sunlight still comes through.
Right. Yeah. Hi, Marie, you're back.
Hey,
You got service again, huh?
Am I in there?
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're here.
Oh,
you're here.
it was just swirling and swirling.
Well, one of the things I was going to tell you, I grew jalapenos for the first time this last year.
Yeah.
And I done a couple of little tricks. First off, I put mine in a raised. I built like a raised flower bed, and basically, I mean, it's on legs, like it stands up this high, and it looks like a little planter.
Okay.
And I grew mine in that because I was able to move them around and keep them in the sunlight, because I didn't have the area to keep them in a lot of good sun.
Right.
And I was getting like 20 jalapenos at a time on my plants.
Wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And there she goes.
Popping out. And it so one of the things that I did was I kind of done it like a tomato plant, and everything, anytime they had, where like you got your stem,
Yeah.
and where you would have then they would have that little growth, you
usually clip it.
Yeah, I was clipping every one of them, and I actually clipped mine up to where it had about this much room underneath the plant. So you could look down underneath it. It had this much area underneath it.
Did you tie them to like a pole or wire or anything? No, they stood up on their own.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
All right.
And man, I'm telling you, Dangerous seen them. I mean, I'd go out there and pick, and I'd just have a big old plate full of them dang things, man. And I was giving them because I don't know how to can yet, and I was giving them to my neighbors and and everything, because I didn't want them to go bad,
Of
but
course, yeah.
And but yeah, they really grow well, because when they first started out, I wasn't producing very many, and I watched a video and they were saying, cut them up pretty high, and the tops will.
Well, with the tomatoes and with the cucumbers, you want to let the air flow underneath, so you want to have them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's see what and I built another raised garden, and I grew zucchini, squash, okra, and tomatoes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you what, you can ask Dangerous. He's seen them. I literally had zucchini and squash as big as my arm.
They do get big.
Am I kidding, Dangerous? I mean, they were just huge, man. I was like,
by the way,
like, oh my gosh.
By the way, so we got Lake Ferry in here.
Hi, Lake Ferry.
Hey, Lake.
Mr. and Mrs. Prepping Plumber, Zane. Um,
Bigfoot.
welcome
Bigfoot.
all to the chat. Susan Bryant had a question. Any advice on a still? I just ordered one. Anyone?
Yes. Pressure gauge.
I-
Yeah.
Pressure gauge,
Yeah,
pressure gauge, pressure
I was
gauge.
going to say with that pressure canner, we were actually discussing this on the After Dark. Even with the pressure canner, if you have it already brewed or what's the process, a fermenting process done, yes, you can you can put it in a pressure canner and do it that way too.
Yeah.
Just
Well, but they're usually not big enough to really. The deal with the still is you've got to cook. You've got to constantly cook while you're in the fermenting process and stuff, and the pressures can build up. And once they build up to a point, I mean, it becomes explosive.
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, and when you said gauges, I myself have never really done with used a steel, but I've got people who do, and I've heard them talk about gauges. And do not buy cheap gauges. Spend the money and get the expensive gauges.
Well,
It will.
my experience with stills comes from going to the Middle East where it's illegal to have liquor and have alcoholics working with you. So we would actually build stills out there and make our own hooch. That way our guys wouldn't get the DTs.
Yeah.
No, wow, that's
Hmm.
great. That many alcoholics out there, huh?
It's the military. You damn right that many alcoholics.
Yeah, I guess if you get shot at all day and then you go home, you go back to the camp, you want to have something to calm down. Yeah.
Well, we always said the military is all about embracing the suck, and sometimes one of the ways you do that is you medicate yourself. Well, you can't smoke marijuana, but the bottle is considered to be all right, so why not? Yeah, there's a lot of drunks in the military, and if you're resourceful enough, I mean, people like hooch, so I mean, you can make a lot of money off of it. And yeah, it was doing tattoos overseas, doing tattoos in the desert, and selling alcohol is one hell of a way to make money in a war zone.
Makes sense.
Well, the whole thing though, on the pepper plants is once you get them producing, you will have just, oh my gosh, man. And like I said, when I cut them up, you know what I'm saying? When I cleared everything off and gave them a real good distance before the
Yeah.
branches started,
Yeah.
my gosh, they just took off.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I'm not exaggerating. It was almost like you could stand out there and watch them grow. You know, it was just like, my gosh, look at these things, man. They're just, I'd go out there the next day and they'd go from this long, they'd be that long, big,
Wow.
already nice.
Ready
And
to
it was
go.
just, yeah. But what I did on my other raised garden is for my zucchini and my squash, and then for the okra is on the back side of the raised garden, I put hog wire.
Okay.
I drove some T-posts down and put hog wire up.
Yeah.
And then I just used I would weave that stuff in and out of there, as it was growing,
Yeah.
and let it grow up through there. And man, it really worked.
That's what I did for the beans and the cucumbers.
Right.
Because they want to be up, they want to grow up. So you don't want them sitting on the ground, especially the cucumbers, because they'll rot or bugs will get to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've known a lot of people to use rebar.
Yeah.
For like beans and stuff.
Yeah.
So
anything to get them to go up and off the ground. You know, I mean, we also did like these bean poles from like literally like sticks, you know, from trees, and
Yeah.
put them in with some twine, and there you go.
And Fun Fork says preppers do not need booze during a spit hits the fan type situation, and I would tell you you're wrong, because it is a bartering tool.
Oh, it's absolutely. Real quick, I want to cut in, Prep and Plumber. Cheers to you, brother. He wants to know how many are drinking at this time on a Saturday night. Cheers. But yeah, no, that's actually, you know, a good topic to start on too, is bartering items, you know, and
Yeah.
things of that sort, you know. Man, you can go, and I know, you know, I don't smoke cigarettes. I do smoke these little cigarillos, you know, but I'll tell you, the cheapest cigarettes you can go find, you know, having a nice little stockpile of them they're going to be great bartering items. You know, I can promise you. Huh?
I said that makes sense.
Well, you think about it. I mean, somebody that maybe smokes Marlboros, you know, and they're all like, well, you know, I'm only going to smoke a Marlboro. When it gets down to where they ain't got a cigarette, I can guarantee you you know what I'm saying? They're going to be willing to trade stuff.
They're going to want it. They're not going to be picky. Beggars can't be choosers.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I mean, even if I have to hand roll it, dude, I mean, there for a while when just getting back on my feet, I couldn't afford, you know, back then it was $3 or $4 a pack. I remember when I was like 19, I could go into the store and buy a pack of cigarettes for like $1, you know, but, you know, hand rolling them, you know, I mean, but now I'm getting to the point where it's like, there's some times where I mean, besides like when I'm at work, you know, I can go hours without an urge. And even like in the mornings, sometimes lately, you know, a lot of people like first thing when they roll out of bed, they got to light up a cigarette.
Yeah.
No, the first thing I do when I get out of bed is I grab a water bottle and, you know, I drink water. And I do that, you know, for most of the morning. I'm even getting away from the coffee myself because I mean, I like coffee, but at the same time, when I drink it, I end up staying on 13-hour streams. So I don't drink coffee on stream anymore.
I know.
But,
well,
you know,
look, any vice.
I don't know if it's old age or just maybe my body is just telling me it's like, all right, you're giving up all these hard drugs, you know, and maybe my body's just telling me, hey, I'm going to weed this stuff out. So.
Well, you know what, that kind of segues to like what I think is one of the most important preps is taking care of your health. I mean, like nobody's perfect, right? None of us are. We're all starting from different positions, but that is so important, you know, is just being mindful of your health and trying to, you know, stay fit and, you know, have good food on hand. And I think it's important to, when you're prepping, is to prep healthy foods, you know? So
Right.
I mean, you don't want to just eat Spam and Dinty Moore beef stew constantly. You know, will kill you.
Unless you're Bigfoot prepper. Now he loves
Unless you're Bigfoot.
He loves Spam.
That's right.
No, it's Angry Prepper that loves Spam.
Bigfoot prepper said he would rather have a Spam steak than anything else.
I remember eating Spam camping when I was a kid with mustard, and I remember thinking it was delicious. I don't think I've had it since, but I remember thinking it was really good.
Oh, my kids love it, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, I keep it. Yeah, I keep probably at least a dozen cans right now in my preps.
Okay.
And you know, I rotate them out because if I gave my kids free range to all my preps, they would eat it.
You wouldn't have any preps.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any preps. Exactly. Like, you know, my cases of water I've got stacked, and they're like, "Hey, Dad, can I get a water?" It's like, well, yeah, go ahead. You know, I'll just, you know, replace it. But yeah, otherwise they would just sit there. But now we've got a water filter in our refrigerator. You know, we've got a purification system, and I'm like, just reuse the bottle. You know, don't keep taken out of our store, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. We have like natural like mountain springs all behind my house with running water. Actually, where I live, they are the New York. They feed New York City the water from right down the road. So we have a ton of water. I do have a purifier, just God forbid, but I don't really prep water because there's just so much water here.
Right. Well, I think that, like myself here, we've got they call it a river. I don't know. I always call it a big creek, but it runs year round. I mean, even on a lot of times when we hardly have any rain at all, there's still water that flows down through there, and they've got one that comes down this way and another one that comes down, and they converge and get
Right.
obviously a lot bigger. And I've got so much opportunity for water here, but I do prep some water,
Right.
and but the main thing for me is water filtration. I've got multiple water filtration systems that I've got brand new in the box that I know how to use them. They're ones I've used and tried, and then buy a new one to have for my storage.
Sure.
And water filtration. But if you have access to really good water, the only thing you have to worry about is if it is a shift situation, you have to the other skill you said you were kind of lacking in a little bit, you may want to be a little more proficient in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's my active prep that I'm working on right now, because I recognize that, and there's nothing wrong with knowing, like you said, where your weaknesses are and where you can improve. You want to be more well-rounded.
Yeah. Do you have a local gun range that you can go to?
Yeah, I'm a member. Yep.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nope, I didn't waste any time with that.
Yeah, the only problem is now ammo is getting so expensive. Like myself. Anyway, I went out and bought the iTarget system.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And dry fire training, and just maintaining that. I mean, do that on a daily basis. I probably spend between 5 minutes to a half an hour or longer, depending on how long I watch CNN.
Right.
But I dry fire train all the time.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is being able to load and unload it quickly. So.
Oh yeah. And like another thing, because like my sister, we got her a new toy, and her magazines, like she's got a 9mm, and a 12 round. I mean, if you got a 12 round magazine, you get about to the 9th round, and then you're starting to like jam it in there. So you got these tools. They're called mag lulas.
Okay.
They're about $25. Don't go with the cheapies because they're made of plastic. These are solid. They work, and even I use them because when you got a stiff spring, especially in a magazine like that,
right? Yeah.
It helps out.
Makes sense.
I've even got one for my AR magazines. But
are you looking to try to grow anything new this year that you haven't yet? Or
I'm trying to think. I want to grow more of what I used a lot of last year, which was the tomatoes, because obviously they're so versatile. I just canned the whole. I did the sauces, the salsa. The salsa, I actually did a video on it. What I like to do with it is I have a recipe, but I don't really like it for salsa per se. But what I do is I can it and then I cook it after, like I open it if I'm going to make rice and beans. So it's like a 2-minute rice and beans, because I just open the salsa, I put it in, put beans in it, make the rice, and kind of mix it all together and maybe doctor it up, and there you go. So there's none of that chopping, the onions, or take that same jar and I make chili from it, So it's like, the longest part of cooking is chopping everything, right? So if you can just sit there and make a massive amount of this stuff, and then you can use it for whatever you want. So so tomatoes, cucumbers. I didn't grow peas last year, so I'm gonna try peas this year. Probably just more lettuce and stuff like that. We grew all year. I mean, not all year, all season. I didn't buy any lettuce. I would just literally pick it off the thing and eat it for salads and things like that. So
I can grow the crap out of some spinach, but I did not do well with the lettuce last year.
Oh, okay. Lettuce you don't want in like really like hot heat and direct sunlight for long because it'll wilt. So because we're on the mountain and we're not facing the sun all the time, so we do get a lot of shade, the lettuce did really well because I just put it in buckets on my porch and I put all different varieties. My herbs didn't grow great, so that was one thing that maybe I can work on. But other than that, definitely the lettuces did really well here. Kale, the kale did amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, thinking about that, the lettuce, it actually was in an area that caught a lot of sun.
Yeah, you want it like half and half.
Okay.
At least in my experience.
I'm gonna plant that out front then because I built this real nice flower bed
Right.
for my wife and my daughter and had it all pretty and flowers, and well, it turned out I was the only one that would maintain it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be out here maintaining this, I'm gonna put something useful in it. Flowers are pretty. It made the house look great, but
right.
Hey, if I can walk out in the flower bed and pick me some lettuce and spinach and and make me some a fresh salad, to go with my steak. Yeah, so
yep.
I'll try the lettuce out front then.
Yeah.
Because it catches the morning sunlight.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon it's shaded because the sun is kind of behind our house, so it shades it in the afternoon.
Yeah. And also too, I found that a couple of my lettuces went kind of crummy when it rained really heavy, like monsoon rain, because it almost crushed and wilted the leaves. Also, if you have them in like buckets, you can move them, obviously, when you need them. The butterhead lettuce, I found did really well. Sometimes even at the grocery store, you can buy these bulbs of lettuce that actually have the roots on it, the butter lettuce or whatever it's called. And I would use the lettuce and then plant the bulb and it would just regrow. So it's almost like a starter in the grocery store. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called butter lettuce, and most grocery stores have them. So.
Well, the tomato thing, I'm gonna have a whole lot more tomato plants this year because my tomato plants did really well, but I only had a few of them, and so on the salsa thing, canning salsa. So how long of a shelf life does that have if you can salsa properly?
I mean, I don't want to say indefinitely. I mean, I would say a couple years, probably safely. I try to personally go through most of my stuff within the 2-year mark because I don't like to leave it too long.
Right.
I am not an expert in canning, so I'm sure there's people that know way more than I do, but that's what I'm doing right now, at least.
Yeah, but you know more than I do, so that's why I'm asking you.
And there's some really great YouTube videos out there too, like really detailed. So you look around and you'll find some, and if you want, I can send you a couple that I really like that give a lot of extra details.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm always up for it.
Yeah.
And
what is going on, Survival Living?
How are you, bud?
How's it going, everyone? Good to see you all as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was eating my preps.
Right.
Dude, this stuff here is just freaking crazy. It's good. It really is. We prep what we eat, so we cycle through our rotational stock. So we don't ever have to worry about actual expiration dates or best buys. Best buys, we already know the rules on that. There are no rules. No, I don't want to get anybody in trouble here. I saw people post things about their panic buy had expired. We don't allow anything to expire. We put in rotational stock, and we just prep what we normally eat. Now, the comment about the spam every day is not healthy. Absolutely. I love spam. but I know I can't eat it every day, every meal. That much sodium intake,
And
all that stuff.
nitrate.
You have to do nitrate. You have to do the balance for sure. If you
Yeah.
don't, you're gonna get sick. And yeah, I completely agree with y'all on that. I did see a myth that's floating around in the chat tonight.
What's that?
That corn has no nutritional value. This is actually a myth. A lot
People
of
have been
preppers
saying
are
this
saying,
forever. That's not true.
yeah, a cup of corn, 164 grams, contains 177 calories, 41 grams of carbs, 5.4 grams of protein, 2.1 grams of fat, 4.6 grams of fiber, 17% of your daily value of vitamin C, 24% of B1, 19% B9, 11% magnesium, and 10% potassium of your daily value. And so, yes, it does have a lot of nutrition. A lot of people pass it off because when they look at the back of the can, they look for carbs, calories, and protein, and then they go, okay, well, I'm not seeing much here, so it's useless. The vitamin content on it, I mean, you're getting 17% of vitamin C out of a cup of corn.
That's a lot.
Just regular canned corn. Now, if you get the opportunity to eat fresh corn all the time, yes, that's even better. Canned goods, I know that's not always the healthiest thing to always eat, but when you're prepping, you got to prep what you can, right?
Right.
I think the biggest thing with corn is that your body doesn't break it down as easily. So given that it has all those things, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but you really got to chew it to help break it down because it doesn't break down in the body as much and you pass it through quicker than a lot of other foods.
Oh, yeah.
The absorption
Most
level
people
isn't as good.
Eat fast. Absolutely. That cream of corn's great to stock up because
That's a
it's
good
already
one.
broken
Yeah.
down, makes it a lot easier. But you're right. Not chewing it up, it will pass through real fast and you're not getting the nutrition value out of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, my toddler loves it, so that's even better to hear.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, we eat a lot of corn around here too.
Yeah, really quick for survival living. So my channel is up for monetization now.
Yeah, congratulations
Is it now?
on that.
Congrats.
Awesome.
Yep.
Congratulations
That is awesome,
on that,
brother.
Finally passed that mark, and I was contemplating because I was going through my analytics and stuff the other day, and it's like monetization. What? And then I looked, it's like, holy crap! I got the subs, I got the watch hours. I'm like,
Well, I'll
dude,
definitely tell you,
how bad does YouTube
monetization will help your channel being reached out. You'll actually grow as far as your information will go out further if you're monetized. If you stay unmonetized, your channel won't push, and many people won't ever know you're there. They won't hear what you got to say. So once you monetize, I know a lot of people's like, "Oh man, don't monetize, you sell out." No, if you want to get your voice out, you have to take that monetization because then it gets pushed, and the platform, they like making money too, and they'll push your videos.
And since they take 30% of everything that you make for them, if you
30% of everything goes to them.
But I need to make an announcement. The reason why I had to go real quick, there was an emergency phone call. Frank from Let's Be Frank has received 2 community guideline strikes today. He will be streaming on his lifestyle blog. Him and his wife do together, and I'm linking it in chat because I know that there are some people who do watch Let's Be Frank.
I do too.
And so he'll be there at 9 p.m. CST. That's in about 30 minutes. I know this show probably will not be over. It doesn't matter. Whatever. That's, if people want to head there.
I'm curious as to why he got the strikes. Did he tell you?
Yes. He
medical misinformation.
Medical misinformation was one of them, and the other one was claiming that he claimed erection rod.
Gotcha.
Wow. They are cracking down.
Wow.
Those were 2 things that we were discussing earlier. It's like we can't talk about the jab and we can't talk about the frogs.
Yeah, so it's YouTube is getting very heavy-handed with what they are doing. It is what it is. a lot of people will tell you, look, we need to go to other platforms. Yes, we do need to go to other platforms, but we need to stay here where the fight is.
Yeah.
So it's not, you go to other platforms to ensure the message still gets out, but you stay here on the battlefield fighting tooth and nail to show people you're not going to go off into that sunset without them making you leave.
Yeah.
And now I've heard this, and Survival Living and Sparky, you could probably help me out on this. So they're even keeping an eye on the chat. So even if somebody in the chat says something, you could still get a strike on that. Is that true?
Potentially,
Well,
if they are someone,
right.
they can strike you if one of your mods.
Oh,
yeah.
Which
So,
I've got many.
They are not. Wrench no states is a bad idea.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there to you. But with you, if you are working on monetizing, true, honest criticism, you got to put out videos, man.
Yeah, and then me and Patriot were talking about this earlier. I know once I do this, I'm gonna have to start doing more videos, like going around the backyard and showing you what I got, and doing daily. I mean, I used to do them back in the day. Like,
man, I used to love your little confession closet.
Yeah.
You know, your little your midnight bedroom feminist takes. I thought they were kind of fun.
I do remember those.
So I mean, look, it's and man, I don't know of any other way to say this, but look, make sure to support the YouTubers that you do enjoy. If you enjoy this, make sure to support this man. And by anything, look, the minimum is smashing that like button. And if you want to go one step over, you hit that share button. If you want to do even more, comment. Because all that goes into the algorithm. And you can do that without opening your wallet one bit. But if you interact with the content, that helps boost that creator.
Yeah, I just commented on Catskill's last video.
You did. I saw that. I appreciate it. Also, I've heard from being in different chats and being a moderator that down on like emojis, like too many emojis in the chat will actually attract negative whatever feedback from YouTube, whatever that may be.
I've heard that too.
I've got some funny emojis. I've got a Tim Pool emoji. I got a furry Trump emoji, a dumpster fire emoji.
I don't think it matters what the emojis are, but like if there's like a zillion emojis, all of a sudden it attracts the YouTube people.
Well, it immediately raises that up for review by your mods.
We got emojis in the chat.
Yeah. And it's because they're looking for coded language. Ooh.
Wait, I'm sorry. So the Patriots conspire through emojis now, right? So many American flags versus like
no, eggplants and water drops are that is terrorism.
What?
Yeah. Oh, I can see it. Unreal.
Okay. So anyway.
Okay.
What
sit.
His dog is.
Sounds like you need to cut the nails.
Real.
He's a big boy.
So what is some of the things that you think will be one of the most useful skills when an SHTF happens? If you could pick one skill that you were really good, you know what I'm saying, that would be that you would consider the most useful.
I mean, I think, okay, I don't know. I'm going to contradict myself here, but I think flying under the radar in a way is a good skill. because you don't want to draw too much attention to yourself. On the same rate, like I have no problem saying how I feel, whether it be on YouTube or another platform. But I think every day to day, I'm probably the least suspected of anything like this, that's fine too. Skill wise, I mean, I want to keep going back to the food storage because, you know, that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm passionate about. I think being able to know how to take care of yourself with basic first aid, your family, your friends, that's a huge skill. Because at this rate, I mean, listen, I had a friend from high school that just passed away from COVID. And the story goes that he and his entire family got it. They were on the mend. He went to the batting cage, hit a few balls, and got cracked with one of the balls, right? Went home, felt like he had a concussion. 2 days later, his wife, I guess, took him to the hospital because his headache was still bothering him. She dropped him off at the hospital, and they said, oh, well, you have COVID. And he's like, no, I know. You know, everyone's, you know, getting better, whatever. I have no idea what happened, but she dropped him off, and she never saw him again. And 4 weeks later, he died.
Oh, no.
You know,
That's
my age, early 40s, no medical issues, nothing. So you wonder, is it him having COVID that made that head injury worse? Did they drop him off at the hospital and the hospital started treating him just like for COVID and that made it worse? You know, I mean, you don't know.
Right.
Do you imagine dropping your significant other off at the hospital? You can't go in and you're not their advocate, because I've worked with doctors my entire life and quite frankly, I don't trust them. So, you know, I wouldn't want to drop someone off and not have someone there watching. Now that person's, you know, under, you know, anesthesia or whatever, they're out of the loop. There's no one advocating for these people. You know?
True. So, I mean, that's sad, dude. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I felt horrible, but even more horrible for that woman and the position she was in. And he has a 5-year-old little boy. He, you know, had COVID and was getting better. He got hit by a ball. Maybe that contributed to why he died, but
they're very likely. Yeah, like Brad Young just said, a 70-mile-per-hour baseball to the head isn't a joke, and it really is not.
Right.
Like,
what about you, survival living? What would, if you could take one skill into SHTF, what would the skill you would think would be the most beneficial to you?
Well, that's a loaded question. All right, so let's clarify a little bit. What part of SHTF are we talking about, and location? Am I in the middle of the city and it's just popped off, or has it already been going around for a while? And am I in rural areas?
It's already hit the fan. I think we all know that.
Already hit the fan.
I'm talking like, I think we're talking Mad Max, right, Patriot?
Well, I'm saying basically, let's say that, as Ghost Prepper likes to say, the balloon goes up, and it pops off in a Mad Max way. I mean, it's freaking just, it's bad. It's chaotic. You know, we were watching that movie called The Fifth Wave, and it was basically a complete grid down, like maybe an EMP or something, and like the lights went out, and all of a sudden the phones went black, you know, and cars had no I mean, they went bad, you know, they were crashing into each other. I mean, it kicked off hard quick. What would be the one skill that you would think would be the most beneficial to you, that you would want to have, and when it kicks off in a Mad Max type way?
Be able to build. You can build fortifications. You can build protection. You can build all kind of stuff. You can build water treatment facilities. You can build anything. You can build towers. You can build water towers. I'd say a background skill as far as construction and stuff. I think being able to work with your hands and create is a very good skill. I mean, I could easily say, you know what, as long as I got a great shot, I'll be all right. But I mean, you still got to thrive. I don't plan on it all the time. It'd be easier to. I don't know. It's kind of hard just to pick one, I guess.
Right.
And I'm taking in consideration too our ability to be mobile right now in our stocks and our water purification system that we have here. But taking all that into consideration, I would say being able to be a skilled craftsman, and not just in one spot. You know, I'm a welder, but without the ability to generate enough electricity to create a welder to work, you know, I mean, my little 110 stuff here with my solar isn't going to be able to crank up a weld machine. All right, but now I can do lumber work. So I don't know, man. I think it'd have to be skilled work. At least my thoughts.
Sparky, what about you over there?
Well, I mean, just like Mr. Survival Living, I am a craftsman myself. Of course, I am mostly an electrician, but you know, honestly, I would rely back on my younger years. Pimping it is not easy, and it will be necessary after the stuff hits the fan.
Hey, the things you'll do for a can of chili, right?
Right.
There you go. So you've got to think outside the box. Look, it is all about barter.
Mhm.
And if I can provide services at low prices, I imagine that I can find ways to thrive.
It's the new Walmart.
Right. Sparky Sparkarama.
That is
Whoa,
like,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, like Survival Living. He's doing a series right now. He's building his own outdoor shelter. It's coming along nicely, by the way. It looks like a lot of work, but you know what? Just from being a carpenter, you know, and building homes from the ground up, you know, stuff like that. You know, like I never thought about taking the long reeds and sticking them through, you know, for like drywall or siding. You know, very very inventive. But carpentry I think is going to be an important one. Being able to know how to lay a foundation, stuff like that. You know, I mean, and so many different skills like canning. That's another one. You know, if EMP hits and you can't use
Food preservation.
Food preservation, exactly. Salting, smoking, whatever.
And I think you know, an important step is these long-term food items, just like even basics like flour and sugar. I'm not a huge baker. I don't make a lot of bread myself, but I know how to, and if I ever needed to, I certainly have enough stored. And that stuff is also by barter items. And right now, it's still fairly cheap, you know, easy to store. I mean, you could store flour for 25 years if it's done properly, you know, so why not?
Well, you know, I'm actually starting to, I'm looking into building a forge. I want to start, I already know how to weld. I already know how to do plumbing and stuff like that. So I know that if it all comes down to it, one of the beautiful things about metalworking is if you know how to forge, you can make whatever tools you need. So with that in mind, it's just a matter of, hey, if I build this forge, if I find a way, and Survival Living, you're a welder. I mean, there's manufacturing. Just think of it. Just being able to manufacture tools and how useful that would be in certain situations, right?
Yeah.
So I worked for a forge briefly up in Oregon, and we made giant shackles is what their main deal was. I got fired. Me and the supervisor went round and round in that forge. We were both trying to inflict bodily harm on each other. But anyway, I was asked politely to leave. He was an idiot. But I was talking to my wife about building a small forge here, something that, I could play around with because we're doing more outdoor survival. And I was looking on YouTube on some ideas, and even with just a hair dryer that they use just to blow air in, I've seen the vacuums and stuff like that, and they built these things out of a grill and using fire brick. I've also seen them just use dirt that is just compacted around their area just to keep the heat, and they're using pea coal, I think it is, and it was real small pieces of coal, and they're using that to catch that heat. And they can't do a lot with it, but they're still able to do something with it. So we've been playing around with that. We've been
when forging started in the medieval days, they made swords that exact way with little bitty forges. They just did it sections at a time. I'm not looking. I do want to get into bladesmithing for a hobby. I think it would be an interesting hobby to have, but I don't know if I want to go completely primitive. Straight coal forge and just hammers and an anvil, because that is a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
And
we started. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not averse to hard work, mind you, but I'm fat. Just in case you haven't noticed. I mean, it's a great way to lose weight, I'm sure. But I would rather go back to my primary skill of pimping, which we all know is not easy. And because you got to stay strong.
As long as you keep that backhand strong, right?
You know it. It's all about the backswing.
Oh my word! So you're talking about forging, making your own. I saw had up a blade there. I'm guessing that's something he made himself, or dangerous.
There he is.
Yep. Yeah, you're back.
Is he lost?
No, he.
Yeah, you're back.
Well,
he was asking about your knife.
I was asking about your knife. Was that something that you made yourself?
Yeah. My brother, Knight's Armory, Jim over at Knight's Armory, actually made this out of a piece of 1/2-inch rebar.
Oh, wow.
Pounded, or was it 3/4 maybe? But you can still see like the rebar, a little bit of the rebar marks on there.
Mm-hmm.
But, he forged this, pounded it flat, and made his own handle and called it the Freedom Knife. And he was like, I'm going to send that to my brother. And so I keep it.
That's something I want to get into for sure. It takes time, practice with everything. I mean, we do a lot of restoration stuff here at the house anyway. I don't throw things out. I'm not a hoarder, but when it comes down to, I could look at a piece of metal and go, why are these people tossing that could be made into something else? Like this axe right here, it was thrown out. It was rusted up. I just redone it.
Yeah, all you had to do was clean it up.
It had a broke head on it. I cleaned it up, painted it up nice, put a new edge on it. It's free. All it took was a day of hard work, and that's a freaking brand new axe head.
Right.
Now the problem is the handle is back ordered, and it was like $22 for the freaking handle. But I'm still waiting on that one. I don't know how to turn wood on. I'm not real good with crafting wood as far as handles and stuff. It's not in my skill set. And I put up a 2x4 or a Raptor or something like that. Yeah, the mechanics is there. I'll tell you, carpenters have a gift. They can look at a piece of wood and they can already got stuff going on up here. They're going to make it into art when they're done. And they're working with their hands. I'm looking at it, I'm like, it looks like a 2x4. So, carpenters, they amaze me.
It'll be the fanciest toothpick you ever seen. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
All right. I was waiting for Bobby to step in.
Yeah, it's hold on, am I messing up? No,
I can see you.
Okay. I think if you're able to work with your hands and make tools, it's always a very good skill. But of course, you need people who can be able to preserve food. those who can
Mhm.
grow. If you're going to specialize in anything, you need people who specialize in other things. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can build a house. Okay, so I help you build a barn. Well, you happen to raise cattle, so you're a farmer or a rancher, whatever. So I help you build your barn. You give me a head of cattle, and that kind of stuff. And then we need people to be able to process it, which Patriot. Patriot already knows how to process his own food, so his own livestock, I should say. Right? You've done it multiple times, correct, brother?
Well, I don't I've never I don't I mean I've got chickens and stuff, but I mean I kill deer and stuff like that. Yeah, I know how to do all that, but now I want to learn the canning aspect of it because I've seen people canning meats, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I I've got all my stuff in a freezer. If it's grid down, I don't
Yeah.
have the solar panels to sustain my freezers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna, if it went grid down, I'm gonna lose a lot of stuff, and that's why I want to learn the canning part
you
of
want to
it.
learn, if you're going to store meats, instead of canning, it is better to salt. Salt and drying meats last longer than canning.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, canning is wet,
Yeah.
and so there's more opportunity for bacteria to be introduced, which would cause decay and rotting.
Mm-hmm.
If you salt it, you're drying the meat out, which prevents bacteria from even getting into it.
But I
It's
think
actually,
if you can it properly, the likelihood of that is less.
but
Yeah,
how easy is it to can without electricity?
Well, you can can over a fire if you need to. I mean,
It's just with his deal. He's talking about, he has a lot of deer meat.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it would be simpler and more efficient to salt it and dry it than it would be to can it.
Right. I mean, salting and drying, it's good for good, quick sources of protein that store easily. But if you want to have meat and things on hand to actually like make meals with, the canned meat is easier to create a meal with than
Oh,
the salt.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think with all
denying
this stuff,
that.
you need to, have your toes in a little bit of all of it,
Yeah,
and
of course.
yeah.
Jack of all trades, master of none. That's
Right.
the reason why when you look at history, you don't see professions starting until an actual economy comes up, because majority of people were just living hand to mouth. They were just trying to get by. So you would have this is where things like your cultural norms came in. That's why women usually worked around the house, maintained gardens. Men went out hunting, gather, but women helped gather. They helped with the farming. And then once the science of farming started to be more understood, you started seeing people specializing in just agriculture, and people would still hunt. And then it came a time where domestication of animals was figured out. So now you had ranchers, you had farmers, then you had people who were metal workers, who were carpenters. So you started to see specialization, and they traded their services to each other for survival. So you either become fluent or somewhat proficient in everything,
Right.
or you find a good group of people who you can tolerate. It's kind of important. And you work as a commune.
Yeah.
I know that. Don't be scared of that word. I know hippies like to use it, and it is close to communism.
Hey,
But let's
brother
be
bear,
honest.
like,
You got to have friends.
Julie.
Yeah, but see the thing that I'm getting at is on the canning of the meats. I mean, I'm hearing for sure. I mean, 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
And when you do, if you're prepping properly, you are doing like Survival Living says, and Catskill was talking about, as we do ourselves, and you rotate your stock. You know, you absolutely, you don't go out, like, and buy a bunch of crap that you never eat, just to be buying it. You want to specialize your prepping in the things you normally eat.
Right.
So we in this household, we normally take 3 to 5 deer a year,
Right.
and we eat the crap out of it. And one thing I saw, Prepping Plumber, on a video he did the other day, and he had this hand crank meat grinder. And I thought to myself, I was like, dang, man, that's a great idea. Because especially wanting to get into canning and do this kind of stuff, I'm like, man, I need to really start searching out for a couple of these to have in my preps. I think they're going to be very beneficial. I don't, so we eat a lot of deer meat here at my house. So my thought process is, get it, keep it updated, rotate it out, because we'll go through pretty much all the deer meat in a year's time.
Yeah.
So to me, the canning aspect of it, would be the easier or more beneficial to myself and my family. And that's why I was asking about canning meat, and wanting to can meat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I mean, you definitely need to be rotating through your foods. I mean, otherwise, what's the point? I'm sure, at least I do, we all have friends and family that when the pandemic hit, they went out and bought like trays of like canned goods at Walmart, and now they're complaining, oh, I have all this stuff I'm not going to eat. Like, why the hell did you buy it?
Yeah.
Why do you buy something that you wouldn't eat for your preps?
Right. That would be like, I don't eat a lot of
crazy.
spam. I'm not going to go out and buy spam.
No,
I do.
I love spam.
I do too.
I do have
spam goes great with eggs. You got to fry it though. You got to fry it.
You do have to fry it, that's for sure.
I had a Chinese foreign exchange student. Who was living with me who would eat it uncooked.
Oh.
And she was like, "This is the way we eat it in China," and I'm like, "And that's why China is not superior to the West."
You can't eat it. You can't do that's just it. It's already pre-cooked.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
I just pop it open and cut me slices off.
Well, I mean, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
What? That's just crazy. I want to say something about the.
Now for me, I'm one of those picky eaters. So I like meats. I like bacon.
I bet you love the meat.
But yeah, all right, shut up. Anyways, but my kids, they're the ones they love all the veggies and stuff like that. So I mean, pretty much nothing goes to waste in this house. And whatever we don't eat, we give it to the dog, and he'll finish it off. You know what I mean? So
Survival Living, what was you said you wanted to say something about the canned meats?
Yeah, I'll definitely look at it as mixing it up, like Catskill was saying about canning. Okay, and I agree with both methods. Okay, canning, drying, and salting. And it really depends on what you're going to be using it for. Now, if you're in a home situation, you're bugged in and everything, canning your meat is a great idea because it's all centralized. You got everything fresh. It's being cycled through. But salting meat is also a very long longevity to that food. And if you're having to pack out somewhere, you're not carrying canned meat. You're carrying jerky. You're carrying salted meat. So yeah, a combination of both works.
Yeah.
I mean, they both have a very long life on them. So I'll be doing both, to be honest.
Okay. You know what? One of my favorite. Do any of y'all have like a special prep that is kind of like your little guilty pleasure?
Now and later's.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat.
Mine is deviled ham.
Oh, deviled ham.
Deviled ham is like, as far as canned meats go, that is like the filet mignon of canned meats. It is like the upper tier. It's the high level stuff. I like having deviled ham sandwiches. I know it sounds disgusting, right? Oh, some deviled ham, a little mayonnaise on some bread. We call it good. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Man, it is delicious. And it reminds me of, I grew up in hurricanes, around hurricanes. So every year, my parents would buy this stuff getting ready for hurricane season. See, I'm not a prepper. I'm just always ready for hurricane season. That's all it is. It's just how I was raised. Even though now I live in an area with no hurricanes. But deviled ham, that is my guilty pleasure. as disgusting as some may think that is.
No, I mean, I like it. My youngest boy, dude, like he would eat just that. Like, yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, I like that, and I like Weenie Weenies.
Vienna sausages.
Yeah, Vienna sausage. Now, I will not. I do not eat. I do not eat potted meat.
Oh, I love it.
I have standards. Potted meat does not meet those standards.
No.
I didn't say they were
right
high
fast,
standards.
Do you bake your own bread yet?
No, because I don't have patience to knead the dough and to let it sit. That's really the only reason why.
Well, you want to talk about something that's great, a fresh thing of bread out of a Dutch oven, and you just smear on some potted meat to rip off a piece.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's perfect.
Sourdough.
But if you don't like potted meat, don't get potted meat.
No.
You're just gonna be hating yourself later when you're hungry. Yeah, Vienna sausages. There you go.
And that's a good point. I mean, there's stuff that we prep for a long time, and like I said, I may not really like it, but I know my kids like it. And in a shift situation, we'll call it shift because we're already in shit hit the fan. So, but if it goes from just low shit hit the fan to like high speed Mad Max, I mean, if you're starving, you're gonna eat anything.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, you'll be looking at berries, and that's why getting like a book on wild edibles in your area that you can eat is a good idea, because those can be dangerous. Some of them will kill you.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, anyone?
What?
No, I don't even mess with those things.
I think an important prep is books.
My Olivia, I bet you did. You and me both, brother. Plenty of mushrooms. Yep.
Yeah, see, I love mushrooms. But yeah, if you don't know what you're looking for, them things will kill you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was just
mushrooms.
They'll make you see funny colors too.
Yeah.
Right.
Wrong ones. Just saying. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say an important prep is, books. I mean, we all go on YouTube or Google and everything else. And I know that I've been, I've had books, but collecting books of just like you said, local vegetation and, medicinal herbs and things like that, and holistic remedies, all that kind of stuff. I may not practice all those things all the time, but to have a inkling of it and have the ability to go to it if needed, is important. Instead of just saying, oh, well, I can Google that. And then some people say, well, I don't want to spend the money on books. That's fine. You could start printing information off the internet and create a binder, of this stuff. Because one day the internet might be going down and
it could go down tonight. We don't freaking know.
Excellent point. Hard copies, man. I mean, books are.
And we were discussing this a little bit last night. Having the hard copies will also come in handy, because say me and Patriot get signed up and we have to go off to war, and now we leave our kids and our families behind. If they don't have the knowledge, at least they have the books, and hopefully we've raised them well enough. They have the skills enough to be able to take the books and learn how to do it themselves. You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely.
Well, if it does go down for real, if it ever goes down for real, there will be no internet. So the ability to get the knowledge of the world at the click of a button is not going to be a thing. So you need to. My best advice to anyone is always make it to where your knowledge cannot be taken away from you.
Yeah.
And you do that through hard copies.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the whole thing. We got a printer at Walmart. It's not a big, bad, expensive printer, but it's just a basic printer, and it works great. And we got it from Walmart for, man, it wasn't like 50-60 bucks or something. I mean, it wasn't that expensive, and it came with some ink and just throw some paper in there, and this information that a lot of people are saving. I know I've heard lots of people, I've got that saved in my playlist, and I've got that saved, and it's like, yeah, but if everything got grid down, bam, there's no more internet. It's gone. All that information is gone.
Yeah.
And if you're not actively looking at it every day and working on it and studying it, and that information's gone.
Right.
And having that hard copy, man, you can get these little cheap, notebooks and stuff from the Wally World up there for cheap, and you just you can have 3 or 4 of these things, and one of them is just growing vegetables or growing just this particular thing or canning.
Yep.
I mean, it's
a binder of it, a binder, dividers, and maybe a 3-hole puncher. There you go.
I was digging around on the internet here a while back, and I got these books. They all came, and they were, I don't remember what was it. They were 15-20 bucks. I don't remember, 12 bucks or something. They weren't expensive at all, and I got 3 of them, and it's like bushcraft first aid, bushcraft trapping, gathering and cooking, and then edible wild plants.
Yep.
And it was just a lot of this stuff. Now the wild plants, I do lack a little knowledge on that. I'll admit that. A lot of this bushcrafting stuff. I mean, man, I grew up building. Me and my buddies, we grew up camping all the time. I mean, even when we was kids, all the way up until nearly 30 years old, man, we camped all the time, and we would go out and build structures, and we would have camping areas where we would go and party, but we had structures out there that we built, ourselves, and it was just stuff we enjoyed doing, and building snare traps and stuff. All that's in here, and I mean, it's not that expensive, man. You can give up your Java latte cappuccinos or whatever them things are called. You can give them up for a week, and you can afford these, and they're just, I can guarantee you, these will be way more valuable to you when SHTF happens than your Java latte coffees, whatever they're called, for a week,
Yeah.
Make it a little sacrifice for long term. That's what prepping is about. Sometimes you got to sacrifice.
Is it really a sacrifice? I mean,
not
Starbucks
really.
is not that good.
Well, I'm just saying, you know what I'm getting at. It just, because I mean, you hear people, they're like, oh man, I didn't get my, whatever that is, espresso this morning. I just feel like crap. I just couldn't get it. The machine was broke or whatever at the store I stopped at. And I'm like, well, give that crap up, man. Use that money for better purposes. So I don't know, Dangerous.
We were talking about bushcrafting and the snaring part. Survival Living has a channel, and he does quite a bit of that outdoor stuff. You're good at snaring, right?
Helen, that's correct. And that's something that I've mentioned thousands of times. And I'll be glad to mention that again, because I think it's super important. Catskill is going to have to prep things a little differently because of the area she lives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As well as I'm going to have to prep a little differently. Dangerous is going to have to prep a little differently than what I'm going to. You know, food and water and stuff like that. Yes. I mean, it's kind of a common ground, but at the same time, Dangerous don't have the access to water that I do.
Right.
You know, so he's going to have to concentrate a little more. You know, so when you prep, you know, make sure that you obviously prep the stuff you're going to eat food wise that you normally eat every day. That's what you concentrate on. Prep, you know, prep for your area, for the area you know you're going to be in. You know, there's nothing wrong with man, you got a day on your hands where you know it's pouring down rain, it's nasty outside, you can't really do nothing outside. Sit down and it don't hurt a bit to learn how to learn how to do some stuff in Arizona. You know, I mean, you know, any kind of knowledge is obviously the best thing for you, but prepping where you prepping for where you live, you know, certain things about it, you know, Dangerous is going to have to stock more water than I would.
Right.
Yeah, and,
You know
you,
what I'm
and, you,
saying?
and
'Cause
you're going to have to stock more jackets than I will.
exactly, clothing. You
Mhm.
know, Dangerous is not going to have to worry about the heavier clothing
Right.
like I would. You know, so yeah, there's
Like having a reliable heat source in New York is a priority.
Oh yeah, big time.
Brad Young. That's a great point. Lamination, laminate the paper.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Actually, very great, very good point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all think of? You know what I was just saying about, you know, I mean, prepping your area. I mean, do y'all want to expand on that any or?
Well, I mean, I just said, obviously in New York, you need a reliable heat source. And that's why I think there's no right or wrong for prepping. It's, I think we start with our skill set and our interests and where we live and go from there. And I know for me, the things that I'm interested in and I want to, I do. But then I'm also aware that of other things that maybe aren't like my immediate interest. And I'm starting to gravitate towards people who have those interests because I'm learning from them. And, I'm slowly becoming more interested in, you just want to be a well-rounded person and, think 3 steps ahead, and for me, I'm pretty much I live at my bug out location. I'm in, state land, which, is great, but I don't know. I don't see myself throwing my toddler on my back and climbing up the mountain to go live in a hut, but so it is what it is.
Cool. What about you, Survival Living? What?
Yeah, definitely. You need to prep for your area for sure. I mean, I've read comments before over on my channel where, well, if the power goes out, I'm not worried about it because I live without power. Down here in Florida, all right, we used to be in Central Florida, but we're in the Panhandle now. The summertime is so brutal. If the power was to go out, the population in Florida would die off during the summertime. We've got a lot of elderly people, and just the heat and humidity alone. All right, I lived in Arizona. All right, just a drier heat. But you talk about, I would weld with just an awning over us. It'd be over 100 degrees now, and underneath the awning, it'd be like 92 degrees. There's a little bit of a break as long as you're in the shade. But if you had to step outside that shade and weld on a dozer or something, man, you're cooking. So yeah, definitely prep for your area, like y'all were discussing. Weather increment. New York, of course, the cold. You got to have a heat source. Arizona, you got to have a way of cooling things off. I mean, coming up with ingenious ideas as far as when I was in Arizona, we had swamp coolers. Air conditioners really didn't do very well.
Got one too.
We had swamp coolers and stuff. That way, we could blow water into the atmosphere, the air of the. I was in a trailer at the time. Just to cool it down. It's just so dry. So yeah, you definitely need to do that. Look at your local area. You mentioned laminating, your maps, all your notes, all that stuff. Absolutely, you can get. Even if you didn't go to Walmart to go get your notebook, you can get them at the Dollar Tree. A bunch of them. You can find prices. Write this stuff down. We got stuff on SIM cards and all that stuff that we keep in Faraday cages, but those things are not always safe to have stuff on. They get corrupted all the time. It doesn't take much corrosion in an SD card to mess up, and then you lost all of that. So having hard copy, absolutely. I mean, we got a laminator. We didn't pay much for it. We went on, Amazon bought it. I know, don't buy from Amazon, but when you're broke and you're trying to prep, guess what? Amazon won. But yeah, we laminate everything. We laminate anything from our notes to our maps, all that stuff. We print these things off so we have them on hand. Now, trying to laminate a big old map, cut it down in sections. Mark it so you can just put A grid 1 to A grid, 2, whatever. Just grid it out, and you can make it into a smaller notebook and stuff. That was all laminated. You still have it. Your berries and stuff like that. Be real careful. The joke was about mushrooms there. I'm going to tell you, I'll say this much. When it comes to mushrooms, you need to be with someone experienced and shows you can put your hand on it. Don't read a book and then go try to get mushrooms. You are going to mess yourself up. The slightest thing is what is the difference you're looking for, and you're not going to be able to see it unless you're used to actually picking that sucker up and looking at it. Completely different from a two-dimensional image. So please don't read a book on mushrooms and go pick mushrooms. It's not a good idea. Those things you got to be careful with.
Yeah, the mushrooms especially. I mean, I know there's wild berries too, but yeah, the mushrooms is a big one. You can't just go out and eat any mushroom.
Yeah.
And stay out of the cow field.
By the way, Effie loves America. Good to see you, Lone Star Preps. Welcome, Angela. Anybody else? So I hope I didn't miss anybody else. Thank you. I've gotten a few comments, man. Y'all are crushing it. Somebody was like, I've been a long time fan of CFP, and yeah, I have to. I'll be honest. I mean, I started watching you years ago, and yeah, but I mean, we talk. Well, we can talk on the phone. Usually, we just come on live streams and talk like that. But yeah, he puts out really good.
Trying to catch us between video shoots, right?
Dude, that outdoor building that you're making, dude, is impressive, dude, to say the least. I mean,
well, I've been having fun with that. When I got hurt, I couldn't go outside very much. The type of person I am to be stuck in a wheelchair, it sucked. It sucked big time. I did not. And then I was stuck in the bed after the knee surgery. No. So when I finally got to where I can move around good, yeah, I'm outdoors. We're going to be doing a lot more outdoor stuff. I just grew up outdoors. And like I told everybody, just because I'm doing it one way doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. It's really not that hard. Like shelters and stuff, I mean, it just depends on what materials you got available, and sit down and plan it out. That, draw it in the sand if you got to, if you're not really good at remembering everything. And slowly work at it. Just because my design's not what you want, make what you want. That shelter is just a long-term one. That's not something you want to try to build in a straight-up emergency. You want to get a tarp shelter, a debris shelter, something up quick to get out of the weather, and then you build something like that for long-term. Here I am. I don't know how many hours we've been putting on it, but it's been broken up in like a week because I only get like 2 hours a day to get out there and mess around, because doing videos and stuff like that and talking on the phone. I'll tell you what, I've never had more phone calls until I become a YouTube creator. Usually no one ever talks to me. And ever since then, I get more phone calls and texts from people and emails. Before that, I don't think I ever got an email from anybody except for, some type of ad trying to sell me something. So now everybody knows who I am. They're like, yeah, that guy. Oh, yeah, I remember him.
What about you? I mean, I didn't pay attention when I went on your channel earlier. How many subs are you up to, hon?
He was talking to you, Catskill.
Oh, me? I'm like,
yeah. You better not be calling me, hun.
Yeah. I know.
About 300. It's funny though, because it'll go up and then it goes down.
Yes.
And I don't know, I'm sure you guys see too, but like all of a sudden you're like, oh, I haven't heard from this one in a while, and you look and you're unsubscribed, and you didn't do it. It's like weird. So I don't know. It goes up a few, down a few every day. And then slowly it's creeping up.
That's
Yeah,
gonna happen a lot.
I think we can. Somebody out in the chat, because I know most of you are mods here, and I know that's one thing about going monetized, like we were discussing. I don't think I'm going to remove anybody, but at the same time, we're going to have to be careful about what we type in, even in the chat.
Yeah.
So all my moderators, I know we like to make jokes and stuff, but just be careful about what you say.
Well, okay. Well,
Somebody please put Catskill's link in the chat there.
I think Faithful has a couple times, so I appreciate it. I saw that.
Yeah. And also the same for
I'm gonna have
King
to go back and make sure I'm subscribed because I don't think I actually am subscribed to your channel. I think last time I tried to get your channel, I think your name just had Catskill, and I couldn't ever find it. I'm like, well, where's the channel at? So I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
go back and make sure. But yeah, the subs changing. That happens all the time on YouTube, and that's my wife calling in right now. I can hear it.
well, he went quiet.
But yeah,
He
Yeah.
went quiet.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Yeah.
you
What
went-
happened? Did you lost your audio there, bro? All right, I got it here.
Yeah, and
Faithful.
We got to
You know
fight the
the-
evil dead air. We got to fight the evil dead air. Look,
I know.
you need to subscribe to everyone on this panel,
Yeah.
with the exception of possibly me.
Oh no.
I am a horrible, evil person, but Patriot 3%er is a good people. And that is not just me being nice. That is a legitimate criticism. Survival living. I've seen a couple of his videos. I'm not against them. Catskill, I'm going to check you out. I have not seen any of your
Come check me
videos.
out.
I'm not even going to pretend.
Nope,
I'll
that's
go
okay.
check you out because look, you have some information that I don't have, and I need to steal that from you.
Okay, well, I'll be stealing yours.
Hey, that's what it's about. Look,
And
Here on-
I mean, I hear you're into bartering, so you just
I'm into all kinds of things, and none of it's easy.
Well-
and honestly, I'm just a fat guy that does dad jokes on politics. That's mostly what my channel's about.
I love talking politics, so I can't help it.
Yeah, and you know what? I do too, but we got to be careful about what we say here. That's why I created the After Dark channel.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. So that's why I
hate
created the
technology.
After Dark channel. And also then, I mean, I'll bring on the bigger panels and I like it when everybody is respectful and knows when they get to talk and then they let somebody else talk. We gotta let everybody talk. I can't stand it when I get people on there and they're just like, you'll say one sentence and they're like, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna get a lot heavier handed on my After Dark because I'm not gonna have people talking over other people. You just can't have that. So
Well, I mean, to be quite frank with you, Freedom, the reason why I don't mess with the After Dark is because it gives me a headache just watching it.
sometimes
Trying to be on the panels. I mean, you already know how I feel about multiple people on panels. I'm highly against it. And this has been the best I have seen of a panel with over 4 people on it. It's something I am grateful for.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you.
usually it does get out of hand.
No, I agree. I don't like large groups either, with everyone shouting, and it's just it is a headache.
Yes, it is.
that's why I'm getting more careful about who I bring in here. Like survival living, I mean,
Thank you, Cherokee. Sorry.
I mean, and I mean, me and Patriot, we've been at this a while, so we know when to sit back, and we also know when to. It's like, all right, just shut up, But everybody here has been very respectful, and I appreciate that. We are over 2 hours, which is usually my cutoff mark, but.
I actually was gonna say I need to jump off. My poor husband's been locked out of the bedroom, so.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on with a group of men
Yeah, I
in here.
need to get out here too.
All right.
Catskill
Yeah.
and Survival, thank y'all so much, man. It's been such a pleasure getting to
Thank
question you, Catskill, and learning some stuff. I wasn't subscribed either. I am subscribed to your channel,
Great.
and I
Thank
will be
you.
watching some videos. I promise.
Sure.
I
Thank
want to
you.
learn. Man, each one of us have something to offer, and that's what's
That's
so
what
cool
I'm
about
saying.
this.
I think
Yeah.
the prepping's the mindset, and everyone has different skill sets. You know.
Mhm.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you
Survival.
guys. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll definitely be checking out your channels as well. And I'm going to send you a couple YouTube videos with the canning that I think
Okay.
you would really
Cool.
appreciate.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have
Absolutely.
Patriots email?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
you
Is it on your channel?
No,
You
but
just send it to me and I'll forward it to
Yeah.
him.
Okay, that
And then,
sounds
yeah, and then we can link up like that.
sounds good. Well, thank you for
Thank-
having me on, and I'm sorry I was late. And
Oh,
we'll chat soon. Okay.
Not a problem.
Thank you so- thank
We'll
you
have
so
you back.
much.
You've been a great guest.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. Take care. Bye.
Okay,
Right.
bye.
All right, guys, I got to go too. Definitely appreciate you letting me come over here, and thanks for sending that link in. As far as stuff to offer, I'm not giving away anything. All right, I mean, I got Pimp Daddy right here. He charges for me to even be out on the corner, so I can't just give things away. Just saying.
Yeah, look, man, I don't want to have to
Definitely
powder
do
the hands
appreciate.
up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I appreciate every single one of y'all. I really do, and definitely appreciate you letting me come back on here. I'm sorry I couldn't talk much with the chat people down below because I can't see them. I'm on the StreamYard thing on my phone. So
Yeah.
anyway, for everyone that's been following Dangerous Freedom there, you guys, he's a great guy, so definitely stick with him. And Patriot 3%er, brother, I definitely
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
If I can figure out how to turn this off.
Well, I think that a lot of people needs to understand that is in the chat. When you don't come on these lives, or if you've never been on these lives like this, it is very hard to balance looking at the chat and paying attention to the people on the panel, because one of the things that is really bad, it's not really good, is especially when you ask someone, like you have Sparky, he comes on here a lot, he's been on here a lot, and we kind of got this deal, but like Catskill, for instance, she's a new guest, she was asked specifically to be on here tonight, and you want to pay attention to her, you don't want to be over there like, yeah, and just all the time like this, while she's talking. I mean, it's just kind of rude. So for people in the chat, I hope y'all understand if we don't, all the time are not just addressing you immediately. We see your stuff, but we're trying to, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to make sure that we pay attention to the guests who are coming on to the show and give them an opportunity to speak and stuff. So anyway, but now on the After Dark, just the people just randomly, get on there and stuff. So we don't really give a shit if you're on there or not and what you got to say. But no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
They may or may not pay attention to you. I don't know.
So
I
that's-
really enjoyed. You brought on some guests tonight, Freedom, that had some unique perspectives that have not been heard on this channel. Thank you so much for seeking out that quality content, man. And that's why I stayed quiet for most of the show, because I'm sitting there listening, figuring out, what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I interject, my pimping ain't easy. I mean, that is a skill. I mean, it's not a good one, but it's a skill nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And, interjected when I could, semi-intelligently. So yeah, it was fun seeing everyone in the chat again. Yeah, he's gone over his 2 hours. It's time to go to the S show over on Dangerous Freedom After Dark. Go check it out if you like headaches, people yelling all over each other, and drunks
drunks.
screaming about absolutely nothing important. And you get some good information there too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. You
But mostly it's drunks screaming over the top of each other. Trigger warning, content warning.
About 50.
And Patriot will be there. Maybe. Until he gets upset and then he'll walk off and
Well, I get upset when everybody's talking and I'm like, my gosh, I can't understand anything anybody's saying.
Yeah.
Like I can't understand none of it. And I just sit there and it just starts to, it's like this, like somebody's just, where they go, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And it's like, get your finger out of my face. It's like, I'm not touching you. And it's just like, yeah. But now when everybody speaks and like Dangerous, honestly, a lot of his After Dark here lately has been really good shows. People are, every once in a while it gets out of hand, and he's been actually really good to reel it back in a little bit, last night was a great show, all night long, really.
Literally all night long. Marathon streams.
Well, I don't mean it to be marathon, but I mean everybody's talking, having a good time. When everybody's having a good time, it's like, well, it's not like I've got some kind of regulation that says, hey, at 2:00 you've got to shut down and tell everybody it's the last call. I mean, for me, it's like when I get tired, it's like, okay, it's the last call. But
no, I think the After Dark thing is a great thing if you would leave them up.
Yeah, the only thing is, man, like the freaking, like every other one they got the copyright claim on them, but like I've had a few that were just blocked. I mean, like YouTube, like the only way I could even put parts of it up is if I went and cut and edited, which
stop using other people's stuff, dude.
What?
Just stop using other people's stuff.
No, it's not even that. I think
stop playing other people's music.
No.
Stop playing HBO. Stop doing.
Dude, Sparky, it's not even that so much. It's just the topics that we talk about. We blatantly talk about, the jab and the frog and all that stuff. Yeah, and that's, I think, why they're getting blocked.
Yeah, that is true. All right.
It's free speech platform. Anyways, we will be there here shortly. So, Patriot, we're almost at the 2.5 hour mark.
Yep. We need to probably end this one and go ahead and everybody get a little quick bite to eat and mix them a good fresh drink and be ready for some After Dark where we can run our mouths and act crazy.
The bar will be open. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's bar time.
If somebody if somebody in the chat would go ahead and drop the After Dark link, I would greatly appreciate that. And like Patriot just said, give us a few minutes. I have to switch over a few things to get that channel up, and we'll be going live again.
Yeah, and hey, everybody, seriously, thank y'all so much in the chat for everybody showing up and listening to the show. We sure appreciate it. We hope that we was giving some good content tonight for people to learn, or at least learn where to go and learn some stuff. So, man, just thank you, everybody. Y'all are always great. We love seeing y'all. And like I said, apologize if we didn't pay just 100% attention to the chat because, like I said, we wanted to give Catskill and Survival Living and, and I guess Sparky, we did for sure Catskill and Survival Living. They were special guests here, and we wanted to show them some attention and that they meant something to us coming on the panel. So anyway, that's all I got, brother.
And until we see each other the next time, y'all have a good night. Thank you very much, and God bless America.
God bless.